I think the first time Accrington played in this competition, way back when conference teams were allowed, John Coleman has said that it's an ambition of his to go all the way in the trophy. I know in the start of a league season he'll sit you down and say, we want to achieve X, and anybody who doesn't want to do that can go home. Is that approach the same to these cup competitions? When you play that first group game, is he already talking about the final and getting there and the potential to make history?
Yeah, I think he did, to be honest. I'm not sure who the first group game was, but he did emphasise that, we're one of the only sides that haven't been to Wembley, and I think it's Crawley. So it's an ambition of his to get there. And I think if you look at his teams in the group stages of this competition, he did go quite strong. So he backed that up with his team selections throughout the competition, and it's got us to a stage now where we're 2 games away from going to Wembley. But no tougher games than going away to Lincoln, who I think I think they've got the best home record in the. I'm not sure if it's the country, but someone was saying they haven't lost at home since April, maybe. So it's going to be a tough ask to go there and get the win.
This competition, you kind of encounter all kinds of different teams, don't you? Not just the clubs, but the teams that they select. Is it a classic example of you've just got to try and beat what's put in front of you, whether it's an under-21s team or 6 changes for a Football League team? Yeah,
you can only deal with what's in front of you, and you can't govern what Lincoln are going to play. They might rest a couple. I don't think they will, because they're sort of mid-table-ish and they've got not much else to play for. But I think it'll be with it being a semi-final as such, it'll be high intensity, and it'll be both teams going full at it to get to the semi-final, and then hopefully a trip to Wembley.
How do you keep your focus on the job in hand in the 90 minutes? Because there's obviously, everybody's talking about the FA Cup draw and the replay with Boreham Wood, and there's the league situation. Is it easy to keep your mind on one game at once?
Yeah, as a player, you've just got to take the next one as they come. That's the most important, and it's a bit of a cliche, but that's the way it is. Today's focus will be solely on Lincoln and trying to figure out a way to get past them, and then come Wednesday morning, all the focus will be going on to, my opinion, a bigger game against Bristol Rovers at home. That's going to be crucial to where we want to be in the league. But like I said, first and foremost, the focus is on Lincoln and going there and progressing in the cup in whatever way we can, whether it's in 90 minutes, extra time, penalties, whatever we can do to as I say, to get to one game hopefully away from Wembley. But there's some big teams left in the competition, and as I say, we've took the competition seriously from the get-go, and hopefully we can it'll pay dividends by winning tomorrow, and as getting one more step closer.
It's not that long since you went to Lincoln in the league, and that felt like a bit of a reset, kind of a back to basics kind of game. How important are those fundamentals?
Yeah, that was just a game where we had to stop a bit of a rot that we were on. It was a bit of a blip, and we went there and just we upped the intensity, we upped the work rate, and we got a good point. As I say, Lincoln's home record stands above anyone's. They haven't lost in this season anyway. I don't think at home. So to go there and get a point, and I think on the night we were unlucky maybe not to get 3, it'll be an earmark for us, knowing that we can go there and get a result, and we have done in the past. They're in our league. They're not a team that are flying high in our league, so they're certainly beatable, and we'll be going out to try and do that.
We talk a lot about momentum and being able to take things from one good performance, one good result to the next, and you touched on the league game that's coming up at the weekend. Can a win in this give that bit of confidence, that bit of feel-good factor to take you into a league campaign and maybe get you out of that relegation zone?
It could do, yeah, but it shouldn't do. I think the position that we're in the league, everyone should be looking at the table knowing how big that game is, regardless of what happens tomorrow. As I say, it's hard not to focus on that game, because, as I say, we do take one game as it comes, but going into a home game against Bristol Rovers, being in the bottom 4 is massive for us, and when that comes around, we'll be going full throttle to try and win that game. But first and foremost, we've got take care of this game. And as I say, it's a little bit of a distraction, but an exciting distraction. You know, as a player, everyone wants to play at Wembley. It's the holy grail. You know, a day out for the lads, for everyone's family. You know, to try and to win a trophy. You know, it'd be unbelievable. So our full focus now is trying to do that.
I know from experience that you're pretty frustrated when you're on the sidelines and you can't get out there to try and do something about it. How good is it that you're back from injury and you are able to make a contribution now after a few weeks of having to watch?
Yeah, it does. It feels amazing to be back, and it is frustrating watching. You know, because you can't affect nothing really. But as I say, being he's back in now, I played for 20 minutes, 45, 60, and you know, I feel fitter and getting up to speed with the game, which after a long injury takes its time. But you know, I am getting there, and looking forward to having an effect on hopefully making us progress in the cup, and then inevitably the main target will be keeping us in League One this year.
Do you feel the effects of being a year older, has it become harder to recover, or is it just about managing it better and kind of knowing your body better?
No, it's just knowing your body. You know, when you get injured, you can have one physio saying you can be 6 weeks, another physio saying you'll be 12, another one saying you'll be 8, and the only person who generally knows how you're going to feel is yourself. And I think players nowadays are governed by what other people tell them, but I've never really been one for that. You know, I'm not stupid enough to go too early where it can re-pull something, but once I'm on the grass and I feel no pain and I can get through training and feel no pain, then I'm sort of ready to play. You know, I wouldn't like someone holding me back for another 2 weeks saying, I know you're ready, but... so yeah, it is what it is. Injuries are part and parcel of the game. On that point, I just want to wish Joe Pritchard good luck today in his operation. A lad that has been so unfortunate with injuries, and he's done one of the worst that you can do, and something that I've done. And speaking to him privately and personally, I really wish his operation goes well, and he'll be back. I know we'll be back, you know, and hopefully he can take a bit of light that I've done the same and come back and, you know, a season after I'd done it, created a lot of goals and scored some goals to have a really good season and get in certain teams of the year. So it's out there for him to, still young enough and physical, and you know, I know he'll be back definitely. So good luck, Joe.
I know he's been a big advocate of talking about stuff. How important do you think it'll be that you've been there and you've done it, and that you can almost help him through it if necessary? Yeah,
I think it will be massive for him, because I struggled at times. You know, the injury at times, it's so frustrating because you can't even like do certain day-to-day things after your operation, and if you struggle on the mental side, there's days where it can knock you, where you feel lonely and you don't feel like there's any progress, but in the long run there is, and he's got good people around him, good physios at the club, a good set of lads, and you know, he knows I'm only a phone call away, and I've got lots of videos and different techniques that I used that I can send to him to get him back healthy, and hopefully, you know, a fit Joe Pritchard will be back in and amongst the ranks next season and flying like he had been before his injury.